Digital classifieds are the modern town square. We scan them daily for furniture or jobs, rarely questioning the safety of the transaction because we are focused on the thrill of a find. Craigslist.org is the most prominent of these storefronts, but its utilitarian design masks a shift in how we vet strangers, creating an environment where the normal rules of physical safety are suspended. The first phase of the predator's funnel begins with an offer engineered to strike at a specific financial vulnerability or a deep-seated desire. A 15-year-old looking for his first paycheck sees a $10 an hour cleaning gig. A college-aged buyer finds a 2013 Mustang GT listed for thousands under market value. When an ad hits that perfect price point, our focus shifts from verifying the seller to securing the opportunity. We begin to overlook minor inconsistencies in the listing as we race to be the first to respond, effectively ignoring the very instincts meant to keep us safe. Predators move their targets through a transition known as the boundary push. They don't spring a trap in the safety of a public place. They incrementally move the interaction toward a location they control. The man known as James didn't just offer the teenager a job, he offered a ride. By picking the 15-year-old up in his silver Maxima, he effectively removed the boy's only means of transportation before they even reached the house. The Mustang buyer followed his GPS for over an hour, leaving the suburbs behind. He watched the paved roads turn to gravel, eventually pulling up to a run-down shack in a rural area that felt entirely disconnected from the car he'd seen in the ad. Standing in front of a dilapidated house with an hour-long drive behind you creates a powerful internal pressure. You've invested the time and the gas money. Turning back now feels like losing a prize you've already half won. Once a target steps through that front door, the digital safety net vanishes. The distance between the victim and help has grown too large to bridge quickly. Inside James's house, the heat was physical. The air was a stagnant 105 degrees. The windows were sealed tight, and the boy was soon forced to work without a shirt. It was only when he reached the bathroom that he saw the glass lenses glinting from the corners of the ceiling. Searching the vanity cabinets, he found a cache of VHS tapes. Each one had a handwritten name on a sticky note. The tape resting on top of the pile was labeled with his own. The Mustang buyer was led into a basement that smelled of decay. When the seller finally swung open the garage door, the room was vacant. He turned back toward the stairs, only to find two men blocking the exit, one of them brandishing a sharp metal tool. A buyer looking for a leather couch was waved around to the back of a small wooden house. He didn't find furniture. He found four figures in black robes standing over a pit secured with a heavy chain, listening as a voice asked, "Where's your friend?" Survival at the bottom of the funnel becomes a matter of raw adrenaline. It's the frantic pull on a locked car door at a traffic light, the sudden sprint into the woods, and the sound of gravel spraying as a car roars out of a driveway. While the escape provides immediate relief, the threat often follows the victim back into the world beyond the trap. The digital trail left during the initial exchange creates a long-term vulnerability. By the time a victim realizes they are in danger, the predator may already possess their home address. One 12-year-old girl thought she'd escaped a suspicious seller at a local store, but as she ran home, the man shouted her exact apartment number into the street, letting her know he'd been watching her long before the meetup. She locked herself in her bathroom, hiding in the darkness of the sink cabinet. Moments later, the silence was broken by the sound of heavy footsteps on the stairs, followed by the frantic rattling of her doorknob, until the wood finally gave way. The Mustang buyer received a text at 2 in the morning. "Look outside your window." When the police searched the property, they found the seller crouched in the bushes, staring directly at the glass. The subsequent arrests of men like Tony Schelling and the homeowner James linked them to a string of violent crimes. Their records revealed a history of using classified ads to target, film, and kidnap children and adults across state lines. Online marketplaces provide a veil of normalcy for people who hunt for a living. To survive the funnel, you must keep transactions in public, stay local, and treat any deal that feels too good to be true